Всем добрый день, привет.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to greet you. My name is Ilya Daronov. I'm a moderator today of this session, and I hope it will be interesting and very useful. I would like to greet everyone on the 28th forum that has opened here in Ufa. I'd like to say that our session is called Development of Gas and Chemical Complex in Modern Conditions, Crisis or New Opportunities. So I believe that in this year it's very up to date, and the organizers of this session are the Government of the Republic of Bashkortostan, Ministry of Industry and Energy of the Republic of Bashkortostan. So the first opening speech is given to the head of the Republic, Radi Khabirov. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, dear friends, dear colleagues, our guests. I would like to greet you in the capital of our republic, and I'm very grateful for your participation in our Oil and Gas Chemical Forum. I would like to say that we start fixing that our economy is becoming alive again and gradually restores after the pandemics. I'm very happy about it, and of course we have new tasks. And for us, it's very principal to understand what are the moves of this field of industry in the Republic, and I would like to talk about it today. It's not a secret that Bashkortostan is one of the biggest oil and gas chemical center and consumer of natural gas in Russia. And this complex gives the biggest share of production and budget incomes. So we were here today at the launch of at Gazprom Salavat Neftechim. So I would like to say that in the near future we will implement a new catalyst equipment, and the volume of investment is more than 40 billion. So, and we invite everyone to take part in it. We are very grateful to our Gazprom Transgas Ufa. It's a leading enterprise here in our republic. That is not, it's a steamer of innovative development of our republic, of our industry. And of course, we are very grateful to them as well. In general, the republic is the leader in the field of gas motor fuel, and we plan another 26 LPG stations, and we can build more, but we have to think we can build them, and who will be the consumer? So we have a number of questions that we need to ask our federal government as well. We entering new format of cooperation with Gazprom. We have huge enterprises of Rosneft, Gaztech, and we created an institution or mutual working group, and we start the same work with Gazprom. I hope it will be very useful, and I would like to say that by the decree of the Russian Federation government in February this year, we received the status of special economic zone on the territory of our republic. It's Steltamak and Dushanbai region, where we think of developing a huge gas chemical cluster. This is our dream. It's probably the driver of our economy for the coming years, and we work actively with Gazprom, and we would like to cooperate in this field as well. We have a unique opportunities for this, and volumes of gas that pump through the republic, and I believe taking into consideration the existence of huge refining enterprise and with the workforce science capacities, this project will be successful. Thank you for your attention, dear colleagues. I named major questions, and I'm very happy to see you here. And I hope that you will take part and reply as well. So we hope that the project will be implemented. The year is very hard. Who could have thought that the OPEC plus deal would be annulled? Then we have pandemics, We have decrease in demand. We have development of green technologies. And today we see that there's some events that doubt even Nord Stream 2. So of course we need to discuss what to expect. And I give floor to Gennady Shmal, head of the Union of Gas Industries of the Republic. Thank you. I have very short time for a big report, but I will focus on some key points. First of all, I would like to highlight the importance of the topic that is discussed today. I would like to say that the priority of the government of the Republic, it's the attention to the questions of chemistry. I don't remember, maybe 8 or 9 years ago, when we had the first forum here that was called Big Chemistry. And after that, the questions or attention to the questions of chemistry announced here. The share of oil and chemistry in Russian industry is not very high. I would just remind you the figures. In China, 30%, USA, 25%, and we have less than 2%, 1.6% to be precise. So to support oil and gas chemical cluster, we need to spread special taxation benefits that are fixed in the legislation for technoparks, science cities, and special economic areas. Simplify the procedure of registration of land clusters. Our colleagues say we can make it in 5 days. We can connection in 5 days of any house, but the registration of land will take a few months. I would like to say that many decisions today are taken without detailed working on the question. That's why oil producers, they don't get special marks for working on the future. That drags back the development of the industry. I would criticize the strategies that was taken during pandemics in April. But unfortunately, we have a lot of unsolved questions there. I believe that there is no energetic policy. When we saw what could be in 2020, 2025, we have very big volume of oil production on undiscovered fields, offshore. Why I'm talking about it? Just because, according to forecasts, American forecasts, in 2040, the volume of oil production will be 500 million in the world, including 345 Americans, and we will have 60 or 70 millions. This is another thing. We need new technologies of refinery. It concerns oil and chemistry. I will not talk about production. What would like to say? What do we need? We were talking. It is necessary to create engineering companies. We can count them on one hand. We have a lot of foreign companies. We ask for import independence, but we have no companies. The cost of engineering for oil refinery and oil chemistry for the coming decade in the Russian Federation is evaluated as $60 to $120 billion. 85% of these services are rendered by foreign companies. So we need to regulate and support local engineering companies. The second question is creating polygons. We've been talking a lot about it, but we need to take a decree by the government, because the law, it takes a lot of time to take the law, but the decree can be created for testifying the equipment that we need, for testing the equipment that we need, for Arctic shore extraction, so that we can understand everything. Yes, we need separate labs, polygons. We have them, but they test minimal volume. But in order to test the industrial equipment, we don't have such facilities. Have Institute of Organic Synthesis. They say we need to create a very powerful technological company if we want to improve oil and chemistry industry. The government must itself decide to create a huge technological company for substitution of foreign equipment. We need to increase competitiveness of our Russian producers as a first step. And the task of renovation of norms of oil and gas complex has become the first step in it. I will not speak about quantity of the equipment that were implemented, but we have a problem of complex chemical refinery of natural gas that presumes qualified use of all components that we have in gas and chemical industry is characterized by high profitability and ability to become defining in the development of economy of the whole country. So we're lacking behind the United States, Canada, and other countries. In Canada, they have 940 enterprises for refining gas. The volume of refining and production in Canada, it's 200. They refine the gas twice. The norms for plants space is 2.2 hectares. In Canada, it's 1. Servicing stuff, we have 38. In Canada, it's 6. What do we need? Not a single LPG. We don't have a single LPG equipment in Russia. In Qatar, they have a perfect plant by Shell that produces more than 10 million tons of diesel fuel. Turkmenistan built this equipment. We don't have a single one. What shall we do? We have to consider oil and gas chemical industry as a priority for long-term perspective to define the directions of chemical refining of natural gas with optimal indicators of the process, to conduct analysis of the loads and exploitation of existing power facilities, evaluate the problem of transportation, and to mark necessary measures. So I believe after yesterday's talk with Gazprom Transgas Ufa, I would like to add about necessity of developing of machine industry for gas and especially for gas and chemical industry. The Republic has facilities, both industrial and scientific. I would like to finish with the following. Because of Paris Agreement that we were against, MINEC regulated the green gas effect, the so-called carbon tax, and this kind of a loop that can kill all the oil and gas and chemical industry. If it will be $15 per ton of CO2, that would be minus $42 billion a year for our industry. It will mean that 3% of GDP. So I believe we need to prohibit to discuss this law, not even to adopt it. We created a project of trade chamber, reported to the government, so the Minister of Energy is still discussing it. So I believe it's very important for us. Thank you. Thank you very much. I guess you have a certain list of questions that can be separated in two parts for federal executive bodies and for local. So I'll give an opportunity to comment on that. Now, I would just like to, Gennady Iosifovich, I would like to understand your position. So what is connected with small oil companies? The situation for us is very important, unlike other regions. It's here. It's not formal notice for you. we want to conduct a roundtable. I would like to meet with Andrei Gennadievich and talk about it. So the problem is that indeed, small companies, we try to make it in a legal way, but in Duma, we will have new Duma, maybe it will help us, but the problem is that small fields, who would deal with them? Only small companies could deal with them. That's on the last stage of exploration. Who will deal with them? Small companies who will be dealing with the wells that give 3-4 tons. Only small companies. So we want to conduct tomorrow a roundtable. We agreed with your colleagues, including the Academy of Sciences, and of course with the Ministry of Industry, to discuss this topic, because we need to highlight the certain measures. We had these talks, but it didn't move further. We've been dealing with this problem for 1 year, and we have success. I was presented 200 grams of first oil that was produced by a small oil company, but we want to conduct this thing because probably we have some other territory where there is no such fields. But if we will not unite, that's why I would like. So tomorrow we need to work on this question. Thank you. Yes, we have opportunity for new technologies. We need to talk about it as well, but somebody must implement them. Small companies can do that. And in certain time in Bashkortostan, there was the first CO2 customer. The tech company conducted in Samara. They conducted it, and it was very good. But in Bashkortostan, it was. Thank you very much, Gennady Iosifovich. We were talking about new technologies, and right now we need the representative of Ministry of. So, colleagues, Moscow is online. I would like. Yes, colleagues. Russian economy in the first half of the year faced a global challenge connected with the spread of COVID-19 that influences in general on the consuming in different fields and spheres. On the other hand, with the decrease of oil prices, both factors affected different investment projects. We collected and analyzed information by the customers and consumers of oil and gas equipment, and challenges of the production decrease and the consuming of production produced on the Russian Federation territory. To control the situation, we haven't actualized the list of enterprises. We started monitoring of their financial state. Today we have 26 enterprises in the list, Volgograd Neft Farm and then some others. We monitor them on a daily basis. The enterprises from this list can get support in the form of credit with a low interest rate. 14 enterprises use this measure that took credits on the interest rate from 1 to 5%, total amount 7 billion rubles. Right now we are thinking and we're developing a program to support other enterprises. Besides, such enterprises can get subsidies, support, delay on tax payment, and state warranties of the Russian Federation on credit loans. Also, a part of enterprises faced the problem of foreign specialists coming to Russian Federation to conduct installation works and testing of equipment made, foreign-made equipment. In order not to fail in the investment projects, with the help of Ministry of Industrial Trade, we created a certain list of order. Today we have a lot of questions concerning foreign specialists. Also, we developed new means of support that is being discussed right now in federal bodies to support drilling equipment producers, so they would get subsidies around 20% discount. They need to give a certificate of utilization of the old drilling equipment. That will provide substitution of drilling equipment that are outdated and not meet the modern standards of safety. So we expect decrease in demand on products of Russian equipment. So first we need to increase the presence on the local market of Russian equipment in the part of increase the volume of purchases by oil and gas companies to have additional load of enterprise. We fixing regulatory mechanics, and we think about the quotes of equipment produced on the territory of Russian Federation, to have price preferences, and also purchases of some products of only Russian origin. Moreover, today we analyzed the demand on the product of oil and gas machinery in other fields of industry of the Russian Federation. The demand today, we collected demand today, and we are planning with the Agency of Technological Development, would like to conduct the facing of this demand with the possibilities of Russian producers. Also, we implement measures to enforce the presence of Russian equipment on the international market. So we made requests to all oil and gas Russian companies to get information on the projects implemented abroad and possibility of using Russian equipment. And we are getting answers right now. And we would like to discuss manually, so to say, the possibility of supply of this equipment. Together with this, we deal with trade representatives of Russian Federation to get information from them on the projects implemented abroad, on different procedures, on giving data to our producers, and then looking for possibilities. If we talk about countries like Azerbaijan, Belarus, United Arab Emirates, we forming working groups for more productive and effective cooperation. Since the majority of countries, the implementation of the project is conducted with licensees, we cooperate with these licensees to include our producers in vendor lists that will allow to use the products of our producers in implementation of foreign international projects. Also would like to highlight the activity that is done by foreign companies. This offer is analyzed in Arab Emirates and in Azerbaijan. Besides anti-crisis means of support of enterprise, I would like to remind you about the working instruments. Our ministry supports the enterprises on the whole life cycle, from the creation to shipment to the customer. The support of production is made with the help of special foundation according to 10 programs. Is conducted via special subsidy in development of new means of products. Support for shipment to the client is made through the subsidies of the pilot batches of high technological equipment. We have one this year, and within the next months we're planning to organize another project. The support of shipment to export market, possibility of attracting credits with a low interest rate. Selection on this program started on the 17th of August and will last till the end of the year. So the enterprise will get leasing to buy equipment with the first payment that is 30% less from the price of the object of leasing, and the rest will be subsidized through the federal budget. And to sum up, I would like to highlight the work that is conducted by and that is used by within the framework of cooperation between within the framework of purchases with associations and organizations. We creating an offer to increase the list of gas equipment. This expansion is necessary for identification of the products of oil and gas machinery building. We're planning to address to Ministry of Economic Development to get approval for such changes. Then we're planning to address to Росстат to get statistic data on certain items, to have it not only in monetary but also in natural view. So I'd like to finish my report to ask all the companies for active cooperation, and our ministry is always open to all of you, to all questions. We have questions of state support, problems, cooperations with different ministries and departments. I ask you to address directly to me. I'm ready to leave my phone number because I believe because of late start of our event today, I have to leave you. Thank you very much. I think that the telephone, a lot of people know your telephone number, or we will give your telephone number. The report was very good. You gave your opinion and it sounded very good. Yeah, so they ask for the telephone number. 964 556 7936. When you can get today, in 1.5 hours, you can call me. So yeah, so in 1.5 hours, Minpромторг will be online. Another challenge that you mentioned today is the closed borders and not possibility to get foreign specialists. So the question is to people who work here. Mr. Karimov, I congratulate you with the opening of hydrogen equipment. So how do you see the further development of Gazprom Nefтехим Салават?
Ну, я, наверное, сразу расскажу.
Good afternoon, colleagues. I would say about that in our finished investment cycle, we had 2 equipment this year. This is hydrogen equipment and a big complex. Because of pandemics, the borders were closed, as you said, and on installation, foreign specialists couldn't come to us on installation, so we had 2 built, constructed, but not working equipment. How long have you waited for them? Of the specialists, I would like to say about it. In fact, what concerns hydrogen equipment, they didn't come, so we could start our work online, and we managed to do that. It was very challenging. We launched the equipment in quarantine regime. But the workers of our company and our foreign partners worked very well, I think, and launched the equipment. It works, it operates. But with the second one, we have another story. It's a more serious equipment, more serious object, and we have 5 licensees. These are France and Germany, and with the support of Ministry of Industrial Trade through the Federal Security Service, we get permission for entering of specialists from abroad. We have Siemens representative coming, and after 25th we will have other specialists. If our border will allow them in, we will start launching installment operations in our complex, but it will be winter again, and we will have to see in what regime we have to launch it. But why I'm telling you about this, because unexpected things such as pandemics, of course, spoiled our plans, and consuming of fuel corrected our plans as well. So everyone suffered, including us. But the only thing we hope that we will launch catalyst cracker, because we've been constructing it for a long time. So we work together in cooperation with many ministries, Ministry of Energy of the Russian Federation. I'm not talking about local ministries. We work in direct connection, and thanks to colleagues that help us. And from the point of view of development, I would like to highlight the work of Ministry of Industrial Trade. Everything that we heard today, I can say that it's truth. The ministry deal with that. We have another project coming up. It's a production of super absorbents that we would like to build. So we need maximum forms of support from the state and the Republic. So we have support from the Republic. Now we need this support on federal level, up to subsidizing the interest rate. Only Ministry of Trade, of Industrial Trade, can help us. So this equipment will be in the list of strategic that was taken and adopted a few years ago. So we hope that with this project we will have everything done perfectly. We will have 100% import substitution there, and we will use it with personal hygiene means of Russian production. To build the first equipment for super absorbents, it's the acrylic acid equipment. We persuaded our management that we need this equipment for our development, and with this equipment we created a serious basis for the whole subsector of oil and chemical industry. If we talk about development, each enterprise has its own cycle. It cannot not develop, so to say. It needs to do something all the time. Yes, we'll fix our oil refinery plant. We hope, and with big plans, we look forward to the development of oil and chemistry. If oil refinery is the final stage, there is certain set parameters of the production. You can achieve them and stop. But in oil chemistry, in our understanding, it's eternity development process. So we'll pay attention to this. We'll deal with this. And today, in October, we will have to finish the proofs for investment on the construction of huge plants on refinery of methane. Together with colleagues from Transgas, we worked out a supply of gas in the necessary amount, necessary volume. We have a unique place near us. It's a subterranean reservoir for gas. And we believe that this is the right move in the right direction, because the country produces a lot of gas. It has to be monetized. It shouldn't only be burned. It must be directed into technologies and get, so to say, the final product. And so for this reason, in October, we will present a new, well, our work with in Gazprom. And then after the decision, we will implement it. Thank you very much. I will give you the floor a bit later. So, yes, in October we'll finish technical basis. We just polish it up. And after that, it will be project defendants in Gazprom. Yes, but according to my experience, it will take around half a year for consideration in Gazprom. So if we talk about oil and gas, yesterday or today, OPEC said that there will be decrease in production. So it's not a good prospect. So after the question of refinery is very important right now. So the floor is to Vladimir Kapustin and new presentations of oil and gas in Russia and ways out of the crisis. Thank you very much. I would like to thank you, and I would like to say that the topic of gas and chemistry is taking the leading position, and I believe a lot of people speak about success. What I would like to highlight is that yes, we have success and nobody denies it, but the speed of gas chemistry, if we compare our and the world, if we say figuratively, it's like they're flying on an airplane and we're using the train. So we need to change the situation a bit to catch them up. It's impossible to catch them up in the near future, but at least to be like quarter closer to them. That would be to be quarter closer to leading countries. That would be I've made a presentation, but I'm short for time, so I will say in a few words. So the situation when we refine 2% of gas and the United States refine 70%, we don't have to say anything. The second thing, I would like to understand what is gas chemistry. It's processing of natural gas and processing of additional and fuel gas. And of course, what concerns the first and the second and the third, everything is not on the necessary level. When they give report of Minenergo, they say we increased 10 times chemistry and then so on. Yes, it is true, but what we take as a basis for this, if we take the zero level, it will be still low. So this program, as Gennady Iosifovich said, we need the program on oil and gas chemistry, because our friends from the United States and do everything so that we cannot we cannot sell the gas. So the processing becomes on the first place. So hydrogen today is consumed mostly by oil refinery industry because we need Euro 5. Hydrogen and EU, well, it's made in EU. The major thing, they want to get not only natural gas, but with hydrogen. So we need equipment to produce hydrogen. It must be not only from the oil refinery. They need to set this task as #1 task, obtaining a huge volume of hydrogen that can be sold, because it will be substitution to natural gas. The second thing is integration of oil refinery and gas chemistry industries. From fuel gas of catalyst cracking, we can get a huge volume of gas for pyrolysis. At the same time, pyrolysis fuel gas containing 25% of volume of hydrogen is just burnt, where we can use it in oil refinery. Another bad thing is that Minenergo made for, the idea was very good. It's the reverse taxation on liquids. So it means that on pyrolysis, they only refine liquid, so it's benzene. Because the reverse tax that I get from processing of gas is just minimized. And we understand that from methane we can get ethylene, not from the benzene. Now it's all upside down. Because they solved the question for certain oil refinery enterprises. They supported them, but they haven't thought about pyrolysis that will lead to this situation. Then we don't speak about the methanol, fuel methanol topic, and Minister of Energy on purpose does not allow the increase in production of methanol. So we can introduce only 1%. It's implemented widely everywhere through NTBE. That is prohibited in the United States of America. It's pushed out methanol. It's not only for benzene, it's a good additive for diesel fuel. We don't produce tons of fuel methanol. There's some small companies that can do that. And we can increase, with this, we can increase the production of ethanol. 89 million tons are produced, and we're proud of that on all levels. Say how much methanol we produce. This is a way out to not to construct this very expensive oil refinery equipment, but we can add up to 15%. And the last thing that maybe Ivanov will speak, we are lacking behind on ethanol. 85 million white ethanol is produced to introduce it to benzene. We're not talking about countries of like United States and Brazil, but we don't give a ton of bioethanol into benzene. But look at the situation. We are on the first place in grain. Every year we lose 10 million tons of grain. We can make it like in the United States of America. No, we took out the tax on alcohol, but inside the benzene, the taxes remained. So it's not profitable to introduce 15% of methanol into benzene. It could give 4 million tons. Okay, we will not speak about it, but at least start with 300,000 tons. All except oil companies are for this. We understand why oil companies are against, and the reasons are very funny. Despite nothing is taken, and I believe that these sharp questions that would help gas chemistry industry. So I would like, do I understand you correctly that you say stop looking at foreign countries, let's look inside and what we can do here today? Yes. So if we prohibit export of diesel fuel into EU, they implemented hydrolyzed oils. They need to implement in 2021. Unfortunately, we don't have this production today, so we will have to do it quickly. Just because we export a lot of diesel fuel, and this diesel fuel will be 10 or 15% less the export price. So I guess so that without a certain strong hand of the government, it is impossible to shake the system. And we talked with Vice Premier about this, and he told me that he will be, he hopes that they will adopt special law for tax preferences. So what is going on in the legislation? So first of all, when Gennady asked this question on oil companies, in the Council of Federation, it is planned, a roundtable is planned for small oil companies. Initially, we planned to have it in May, but because of pandemics, we decided to move it a bit later. We can't say that the government does nothing. Yes, we make programs. Maybe they're not really effective, and they were considered an analytical center. The program that was adopted on the 28th of February 2019, it's the roadmap for development of oil and gas chemistry complex in the Russian Federation up to 2025. So this is the real actual program. I believe it needs amendments, and according to this program, it is presumed to have tax preferences, stabilization of tax conditions, tariff regulations, up to 15 years for the organizations that implement huge oil and gas projects. But I have to say that these huge oil and gas and chemistry projects that are implemented, as a rule, are implemented in zones with special, or territories with a special economic development and so on. So it means it's a free economic zone where today or tomorrow the gas chemistry complex will be launched tomorrow. And Mishustin was there for the project of Power of Siberia, and Siberia makes it on the same territory of special territory, oil, gas and chemistry complex, CO2 plus. The same in, I'm not talking about preferences that are given to company Sibur as one of the developed company in gas chemistry. We can speak about Tobolsk as well. In Tobolsk, where they launched equipment, the biggest center for gas chemistry. So they process 7 million tons raw materials. So we're moving in the pace that we would like to move faster. But I would like to highlight that the situation that practically all processing of gas and chemistry in Russia is based on foreign technologies and on foreign equipment. This is the most dangerous thing. So, frankly speaking, we are feeding not Russian science, we're feeding foreign science, and foreign producers, they checked it on their polygons, they tested it, and then they say, come on, take it, buy it, and we feed them. We feed foreign industry. And why don't we develop our own? And this is the question to Ministry of Industrial Trade, first of all. But when we talk about that we need to help to Sibur, to chemistry producers, but tell me please, Sibur, the profitability of sales hasn't fell down 10% for the last decade. Shall we help them? Okay, we need to help them so that the speed of development would be higher. But first, we need to help the whole chain, from science, from fundamental science, applicable science, machine equipment producers, technologies, and then help to refineries or processing companies. And we say we need to develop chemistry. Okay, let's invest money into and give preference to processing companies. They're not the poorest, you know. And machine building industry is lacking behind at the same time. I was given information today that Gazprom is buying on 18 billion in Bashkortostan, different equipment that is 18 billion worth. And who subsidized it? Military industry. This must be given a wider level, so to say, so that the whole chain would develop from science to the final spot. So if we talk about Ministry of Industrial Trade, oh, they have money and so on. How can we get preferences from them if they will give you only, they will give you money for the ready project? Where I can get money for peers? Not all the companies are big. They don't have money for that. And in this case, in this respect, give money not only for the ready projects, but for creation of testing example and up to peers of huge projects and so on. It's a huge field of activity, so to say, and I think that according to the results of these round tables that we'll have today and tomorrow, so please give us all the materials.
Все вместе, да. Большое спасибо.
We'll think all together. Thank you very much. Let's applaud for Bashkortostan, and I have a question to Bashkortostan, to the first deputy of Prime Minister, Mr. Nazarov. How can we help in the Republic? What do you do to support the industry? Thank you. Dear colleagues, of course, for our Republic, as for the whole country, oil, gas sector industry is forming, and everything that is happening in this sphere is very important for us, and we pay priority attention to this, so to say. This year, the whole world and the whole country faced certain challenges, and Bashkortostan felt all the problems, starting with the price on oil, OPEC plus issue, pandemics, and of course, it made us to look for additional solutions to support projects, not only in oil and gas, but to support economy in general. And we took unprecedented measures of state support.
Так, в общем-то, в непростой ситуации с бюджетом мы определили для себя.
Difficult situation with the budget. So we spent 30 billion on state support that 52 entities of entrepreneurship can get. We have no choice this year, but we haven't done it before. What concerns oil and gas sector, here mostly we talk about big projects. If we don't talk about small oil companies that we will discuss tomorrow, but oil small companies, there are not so little of them in economy of the Republic of Bashkortostan that can help to produce 4 million tons of oil. We think how long it can be conducted, and how can we get the measures of state support and additional steps to stimulate oil and gas sector. Yesterday, no, the day before yesterday, international agency Moody's published a rating that changed our region from non-stable to satisfactory. So until the June of next year, oil and gas sector can restore itself. And so the task this year, starting from today till the next summer, to support this sector. Position of the heads of the management of the Republic, independent on the sector and the field of economy, to help everyone to help all the projects. So our task is to create conditions in the region so that any investor that comes here, any project would have this or that state support. We have to highlight that today, practically, we have no cases when people ask for help, for state support, administrative support, and we fail to render it. So we don't have these cases, and we think it will give its results. Maybe we have to speak more that we have huge infrastructural measures of state support. They have 5 zones, and the government of Russian Federation signed the decree on creation of special economic zone Alga with maximum preferences that we have today. We have it for 49 years to help all the residents who will develop there on the territory of Ишимбай and Stylitamak district to get practically they will be tax-free on Republican level and maybe on even federal level. So all the taxes on Republican level for the first 5 years 0, then we add gradually, but anyway, it's the most priority place for development of investment. So the 9 residents that we have today, they will be present in this economic area. It's more than 70 billion ruble investment, and raw material for them would be products of Gazprom Neftekhim Salavat. So it's oil, chemical cluster, which is logical because it's located on the border of this enterprise, and we hope that it will give its result. At the same time, we have Foundation for the Development of Industry, and they conduct a lot of work. We decapitalize it constantly so that it has opportunity to help financially. And this year, this foundation is considered to be the best in the Russian Federation. And I would like to highlight that industrial parks that give also opportunity to create infrastructure for the development of industry. In Bashkortostan, we have 10 industrial parks like that. 3 are still under project. So it means that any investment wish or project of our partners can get a place for development and measures of state support. So we would like to use this platform to invite all the participants and say that we have an opportunity to agree on the measures of state support to any of your projects. So welcome. So please let's compare what happens in the neighboring republic in Tatarstan. Petrovich, what kind of measures you take? It's a bit unexpected for me to take the floor. We can't give the floor to Tatars. I would like to thank you for invitation. I would like to thank the head of the republic for organization. How should I speak? As a person expert in the field, or as just a natural person? You choose yourself. Okay. I would like to combine 2 aspects. I'm not fully agree with some speakers that when they say that we have problems, that the state doesn't help a lot. But if we talk about the countries where the level of oil and chemistry is higher and the level of investment higher in this company, let's talk about other companies like Shell. Yeah, we're lagging 10 times behind, yeah? So if we talk about the saving of drowning, so it's in our hands as well, and investment into oil companies and creation of centers, it's a task of not only government, but of the companies itself, because they're interested in that. What concerns the limitations, legal limitations that we have, in laws that limit activity of the companies on controlling bodies and supervising organs. We had a format in Tatarstan. We have a special council where we have all the representatives of oil companies, small companies, Neftь and so on. We have all representative of executive powers. We have emergency ministry, representative from all the supervisory bodies, because it's better that the federal government bodies not only form the simplification, but when they have a mutual process, when we share opinions, and our technical council has been working for 3 years, and all the legislative initiatives that we give on the federal level, they are made mutually and discussed with oil companies and with supervisory bodies as well. So that's why it's working. And right now we have a lot of packs of offers in the same field. So we hope it will be simplified. And I will give example that it takes half a year to have a paper to launching, but the colleague said that Gazprom takes like half a year for consideration of the project. So we need to agree that it must be fast. It must be done faster because, for example, in the West it can be done faster. So we are here. So what else do we have in Tatarstan? What can be enrich our cooperation? We have cooperation because the production that we have a very strong gas and chemical cluster, but Bashkortostan refines more than 80% of extracted oil. In Tatarstan, we move in the same direction. We have this task that oil refinery is aimed on provision of this cluster, because we have a special zone that is considered to be the best in the country. I hope your zone will be the same. So first we have Rosatom that constructed an enterprise for fiber production. Then the chain of production said that we need to do another enterprise. And right now Tatneft is a lot of effort to development of oil and gas and chemistry development. It's planned. We don't have the final decision right now. Maybe there will be created a special zone in Almetievsk. It's also enterprise. It's not simply NPZ oil refinery. So you know that we have a huge complex under construction. So we build a lot of plans on this cooperation, because everyone who comes in, they come as refineries, and this cooperation showed in polymers, and our colleagues know it because they've been to us. It was created by Shaimiev, that the biggest part of plastic must be produced in Tatarstan. Today we have 30% of what we do is processed inside the Republic. We have polymer production increased.
Долю перерабатывают предприятия республиканские, то есть это и малый, и средний бизнес.
So the biggest share is processed in the Republic, so it's a small and medium-sized business and enterprise. But the problem is common for all oil and gas companies, that the efforts on support of suppliers are not enough. I know the experience of foreign companies and Gazprom. Gazprom, a lot of things has done in this field. We have a roadmap with Gazprom, but the support of suppliers, when we speak about, we have a lot of offers to Mr. Zavalny, and they conduct a huge work. Thank you very much for that. So we think that development of support of suppliers must be mutual. I will speak not as an official. Your time is up. Yep. If I need to say, I would just ask for another 2 minutes as a guest. It was strange for me that I had such initiative as a government official. Maybe I had an offer that anyway, when huge investment projects come to Russia, doesn't matter what field, we need to set requirements for entering ticket to our foreign partners. And in this case, any project must be supported by the level of Russian participation must be set in legislation. We are not the silly people. We invented AK-47. So I believe these requirements, these measures that will be set for the implementation of the contracts would be aimed to support equipment. Yes, they enter here, but 50% of the equipment, heat exchangers and so on, it's not a secret. Such regulatory requirements are necessary to highlight because we can't make it on the level of negotiations, but I think the legislation initiative must be aimed on the requirements of the participation of Russian business would be higher, because they always ask for preferences, but when they do their projects, they have maximum foreign equipment, and I understand that it's
движением и варианты есть. Геннадьевич, спасибо вам большое.
and it's much easier to use ready equipment and so on. So thank you for your invitation. So we would thank you very much. So can we? Yeah. So colleagues, if you excuse me, yes, we are off the schedule, and if you say a few words, it's a very interesting talk today that we had. I'm very grateful to each of you who said his opinion, and probably we came to the point when oil, gas, and chemistry field we shouldn't think we have to do something, and we do it in our republic, and I hope that we will come to a mutual cooperation. I agree. I'm very happy that our thoughts on small oil companies, they absolutely correspond, and I get the letter from you, which I will use in my work. We will take part in Council of Federation, so please send us the invitation, because you're right, these small companies must be united, and we have to think the form of state support, at least on first stages and first steps. Of course, we have some ideas, but I think we'll find some solution. Thank you very much, colleagues. Thank you for being loyal to the tradition, and you come to our republic. Thank you that you follow this tradition for many years, and we are very grateful, and good luck to everyone. Thank you very much. We will have changes, and Andrei Gennadievich would like to ask some speakers.
Это развитие нефтяных малых
So,
компаний.
2 sectors, it's development of small companies and transition to gas fuel. So we combine these questions into one big event tomorrow in the government at 11 o'clock. So I would like to invite speakers. So we combine these 2 questions into one big event. So please come and we will have some coffee. So please invite me as well. So we don't say goodbye to each other. Thank you very much. So we're finishing like this. So everyone are welcome tomorrow for the roundtable to Andrei Gennadievich.